Ms. Robinson, you're here desperately trying to save your relationship. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove to the defendant, Mr. Parker, that he is the father of your 23-month-old daughter, Tanila.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Parker, you put your wedding on hold because you're positive you are not the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not only did Ms. Robinson hide the pregnancy, she didn't tell you about Tanila until she was 5 months old. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You say today's results will prove your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Parker, today's results pretty much determine everything.
Yes, Your Honor, it does.
Explain.
Tanila really means the world to me. She's my everything. She's the reason why I get up every morning to go work and go do something in my life. I also love Miss Robinson as well, but I refuse to continue this relationship if they're just lies.
So has there been a lot of lies, Ms. Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor, it have. It have been a lot of lies. He didn't know around the time that I have pregnant that I was seeing someone else, and that's where the possibility come from that Tanila might not be his.
And you say he didn't know this?
No, ma'am.
I do know. Yes, I do. You cheated on me. I sat there and saw you with another guy holding hands at a park.
Okay, but when you see me, why didn't you say nothing to me then?
Because why did you cheat?
When she was
why
5
did you
months
cheat?
and I came to you and I told you that she might be yours, you could have got the DNA test then, but you want to wait until almost 2 years to get a DNA test.
I mean,
right?
I feel like, why, where were you at during those other 5 months?
You ain't tell me that you postponed our wedding.
I mean, you should know that, though.
Hold on. Let me get caught up. Mr. Parker, you already suspected she was cheating.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me what happened.
Well, we had met October of 2012. It was a great time. We loved each other, watching Netflix. You know, we was doing everything together. You know, we chilled, you know, do what we do best, you know. But then, you know, she started to be more distant herself, and, you know, the calls started not coming in. She didn't start showing up.
Towards you.
Yes, you were.
I was spending multiple times with you.
Someone else. She started not coming, you know, home a lot. And things started changing everything then.
Your Honor, we was not living together. I was living with my grandmother. We were spending nights together.
You want to spend a night with me?
So you started disappearing, Ms. Robinson?
A little bit, but I was spending the most time with him. I admit it was time where it was some disappearance because I was in a relationship with someone else.
So, Mr. Parker, when did you first get the sense Ms. Robinson was cheating on you?
I was walking in the park one day, and I saw her holding hands and hugged up with some other guy. And at first, I saw that, I suspect that she might have been pregnant, so I did a little hand gesture. I was like, "Hey, are you pregnant?" So she said no. You know, so, you know, I left her alone. You know, I went on my separate ways, you know, met somebody else. You know, I did my own thing. I wasn't really too much worried about her. Then all of a sudden, you know, things started to come back around. She came to my house. I asked her, I was so shocked at her. I was like, "Hey, how you doing today? You know, I seen you a long time ago." And all of a sudden, it was a baby there. So I'm like, "Who's this baby of yours?" You know, and she was like, "This your child." And I said, "What? My child? What do you mean, my child?" She said, "Yeah, this your baby. You know, can't you tell the features and everything?"
Wait, and at this point, Tanila was 5 months old?
5 months, Your Honor.
So the entire pregnancy, birth, you weren't around?
I was not there.
You didn't even know she was pregnant?
No. Didn't get a phone call or nothing. She know where I stayed. I stayed the same address that we met
but at that time, the first time I went to the doctor, they kept telling me it was pancreatitis in my stomach. So, you know, the pain kept getting worse and worse. I kept getting sleepier and sleepier. So about the second or third time that I went to the emergency room, they confirmed that I was 4 months pregnant.
Didn't call?
So when you first found out you were pregnant, did you contact Mr. Parker at all?
During my pregnancy, Your Honor, no, I have not.
You didn't?
No.
Were you with anybody else during that time?
Yes, Your Honor, I was.
The one he saw you holding hands with?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you tell that guy you were pregnant?
When I confirmed my pregnancy, Your Honor, yes, I have told him. But I did not inform Mr. Parker that I was pregnant.
So you told the other guy you were pregnant, but you never told Mr. Parker?
At all.
Yes, Your Honor.
Never told me.
And so did this other guy go with you to appointments, and was he with you at the hospital?
No, Your Honor, I was by myself during the pregnancy. I was carrying the child.
I could have been there for you if you would have told me. If you would have told me that you was pregnant and everything, I would have been down with you since day one. And you know I would.
Okay.
Why didn't you tell Mr. Parker? I don't understand.
I was nervous, Your Honor. I was going through my pregnancy hormones, and I was just distraught. I was going through a lot. I was nervous. I didn't know how to go about coming to him with the bad news
What bad news?
that I was sleeping around with someone else.
Oh, that you were sleeping with someone else.
Yes.
And that still hurt me to the
Did you tell the other guy that Mr. Parker could also be the father?
No, Your Honor.
Did you tell the other guy that he was the father?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did. Oh, you told the
You did?
other guy from the park holding hands, you're the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You told him that he was the father? Are you serious? I
Yes.
thought you told me I was the dad.
I did. I have.
So
my
am I the
doubts.
father or not?
I have my
That's
doubts.
this is the thing I be talking about.
You told the other guy he was the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You didn't tell Mr. Parker he was the father until Tanila was 5 months old.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who was at the hospital then when Tanila was born?
Not me.
Me and the other guy had came just that one time.
Crazy. I could have been there. If that's my
So
baby,
the
I
other
could have been
guy
there for
came
me,
to
for
the
her.
hospital.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did the other guy sign the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
What? Are you serious?
I didn't know how to tell you.
Are you serious? A birth certificate?
Yes.
He signed the birth certificate?
Yes.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
So you let this guy that's probably not be his child sign a birth certificate and that
Yes.
could be my baby?
Yes.
Why would you let him sign it, Miss Robinson, if you knew it could potentially be Mr. Parker's as well?
Because, Your Honor, at that time, he was there. And around that time, I had lost contact with Mr. Parker. And I didn't know how to come to him and tell him that this other guy had signed the birth certificate. And then also, I knew that he would be devastated. I didn't know how to come to him and just say, oh, well, the other guy had signed her birth
But
certificate.
you don't let somebody sign a birth certificate just because they're there.
You're right, Your Honor. You're right.
In that moment, when it was time for the birth certificate to be signed, you knew that there was more than one potential father, right?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
it's crazy. That supposed to be my child. If that is my child, how did this man sit here and just sign the birth certificate? And that just really hurts me right now, Your Honor, because I feel like I love this baby to death for me, and that's all I love.
Just last night when we got into argument, what you say? Oh, if she's not mine, what you gonna do? You gonna leave, right?
You
How you think
absolutely
she's
right.
gonna feel if you walk out of her life and you've been in her life almost?
How you
2
think
years?
I feel? What about me? How would you feel if I just brought you a
How
random
about-
baby
what about
to your doorstep and say, oh, this is your child? How would you feel?
I feel sorry like you feel sorry.
Okay then. So what you expect me to do? This is my baby. I'm gonna sit here and take care of her.
But what you do when I did tell you that she was? What you do?
I
You
stepped up. I became
All right.
a man.
You
I became a
you
man.
Been in her life.
I was a boy. I was a boy to a man. I was a party type. I was a party type guy.
Okay, and I
you
thank
know what
you
type
for
of
that.
guy I was.
And I thank you for that.
My dad raised me. He told me about responsibility, and that's what I did. I took my role as a man and became a man.
So listen, I want to know this, Mr. Parker. Once she came to you when Tanila was 5 months old, what happened then?
My whole life changed. I mean, Your Honor, I was like
Happy.
I was happy. You right. I was excited. You know, I felt like I was on heaven. You know, that was everything in the world to me. I saw this little girl, mama in my ear telling me, "Oh, she looked just like you. Looked like you when you was a baby and everything." You know, it was just everything to me. You know.
Ms. Robinson, you didn't tell him Tanila was even born
No, Your
until 5 months after she was born.
After
Yes,
she-
Your Honor.
Who was in her life up until the 5-month mark?
I was
Me.
so lame.
Just you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was the other guy involved at all? The one that signed the birth certificate?
No, Your Honor.
You let this man sign a birth certificate.
Yes.
Then he just disappears?
He stayed for, like I say, a month, and then after that, it just fell apart. When Tanila was about 5 months, that's when I decided to reach out to Mr. Parker to let him know what it.
Why 5 months? Why you couldn't do it after you left him?
Was it because you thought he was the father, you truly believed he was the father, or was it just because you broke up with the other guy and now you wanted somebody to help you?
I truly believe Mr. Parker is the father.
So I want to hear from your witness. Ma'am, would you please stand? Will you stand, ma'am? I'd like to hear from you.
Yes. So ready to stand. It was itching.
Ms. Robinson, you are
I'm her sister.
What do you know about this?
I talk to her a lot on the phone. I hear her crying a lot. I moved down here from Chicago to help her out. I keep the baby for weeks at a time. I provide financially for the baby. She wants to go to school. I must say, financially wise, he's good. He's excellent with them too. But lately, it's been a lot of bickering. So I take the baby. I don't want my niece around that. I don't want, he's unsure, but I'm a little mad because there's a lot of things that I didn't know.
Like what?
Like what she just said. It was, she told me that, I asked her, I don't want to look like a fool. And I asked her, is there any other guys, is there any other possibilities? She assured me, no. So to hear this, now I'm kind of, but at the end of the day, that's still my sister. If she rocking, I'm rolling with sis.
There were 2 potential fathers the whole time. You knew that.
You didn't tell
How did you
me.
keep it from everybody, even your sister that came to your aid?
Your Honor, and at the same time, I just didn't want to inform her in my personal business like that.
But I am your business.
I lied a little bit.
I relocated from Chicago all the way here, working 2 jobs.
So, Ms. Robinson, you admitted you were ashamed.
Yes, Your Honor, I was.
So you kept this from everyone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Even your sister?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Was the other guy, were you 2 in a relationship?
We were in a relationship, Your Honor, but he was cheating on me, so.
So you said you knew the whole time that the child was Mr. Parker's, even though you lied and said it was the other guy.
Like,
yes, Your Honor.
How can you be so certain if you were with both of them during the window of conception?
I had sex with Mr. Parker more than I did the other guy. We had sexual relations probably once or twice a week.
all it takes is more time.
Right?
That's all it takes.
It does.
From each dude, though.
You, Ms. Robinson, submitted a diagram to the court
Yes, Your Honor.
that outlines what you believe is the ratio of certainty,
Yes, Your Honor.
because you claim you were intimate with Mr. Parker 80% of the time.
80%.
And only intimate with the mystery man 20% of the time.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's why you're convinced
That Mr. Parker is my
Mr.
baby
Parker
father.
is your child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you are well aware that it only takes one time.
Yes, Your Honor.
That it is not about quantity. Not even really about quality, unfortunately. It's about just the biology, really.
Yes, Your Honor. I have a picture of Miss.
What is that? May I see that, Jerome?
Yes, Your Honor. Now, as you see that picture, Your Honor, she do look like him. She got that pretty skin color. She got that big
I
forehead.
don't see it.
So you believe she looks just like Mr. Parker?
To me, yes, Your Honor, she do.
You see the resemblance, Mr. Parker?
Yes, he do.
No, I don't see it.
Yes, you do.
You don't.
I don't see no resemblance.
Yes, you do.
But, Mr. Parker, let's be clear. The stakes are high for you because you've built a bond with this little girl.
Exactly.
They say you've been financially present in her life, physically as well. You're her daddy.
Yes, Your Honor. You're right about that. It's a lot. It's a lot to go on.
Look at that bond that they have, and he gonna sit here and tell me if that baby not here, he gonna leave. That would devastate my child if he walked out of her life. She called him daddy.
If this child's not mine, I mean, it'll hurt me to death because I love this baby to the break of me. Like, I'd be heartbroken if it's not mine.
Look, I mean, if he's not this child's biological father, a year and a half of them bonding, her calling him daddy,
It will hurt. I understand. I completely understand.
I think his feelings of doubt and they're understandable. Because ultimately, even though you say, Ms. Robinson, I was ashamed, and I get that. It was almost like you thought you could hide it so well, it would go away.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. But now I
I believe
realize
that.
I just want to know the truth,
to
Your
me.
Honor. It's killing me right now.
And we will get to the truth.
All right, I have the answers. I'm ready for the results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Robinson versus Parker, pertaining to 23-month-old Tanila, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Parker, you are not Tanila's father.
Oh my God.
Woo! I'm sorry.
Sis.
I'm sorry.
It's like
I'm sorry.
a whole year wasted, man.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. I want to be her dad. I want to be.
You can still be
I
her
want to
father.
be so
You
bad.
can still be her father.
I know this news is devastating, but Tanila is an innocent little girl, and you're her daddy.
I feel like that I do want to still be a part of her life, cause I love that baby to death. I know she gonna need someone special, so I just want to be that special guy for her.
I give you full permission. I don't ever want you to walk out of her life.
Mr. Mason, you previously appeared in court when you proved that the defendant's 1-year-old daughter was not your child. You are now here questioning the paternity of the defendant's 5-month-old son, Ace. You previously received results from a prenatal paternity test which stated you are the father. You are here petitioning the court to reopen your case and order a paternity test now that Ace is born. Ms. Malone, you claim to be certain that the plaintiff is Ace's dad and plan to prove it today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Mason, tell me why you are here for the second time again in court.
I'm here for the second time, Your Honor, because I feel like still that Ace is not my child. I feel like that it's impossible to get a DNA for a child that's unborn just from a swab of the mother. I guess that's the only way I'm still acting the way I am toward him.
Well, you don't get the DNA of the child that's born just from a swab of the mother. Do you understand what a prenatal test is?
Not for real, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, look, I'm listening to your case because I want to understand why you don't believe the results. So I ordered a new paternity test just for you. So you believe that the mother was swabbed and it's impossible to tell the DNA or the paternity of an unborn child.
Yes, Your Honor.
What other reason do you have?
Every time I held Ace, it's like all he did was just cry. And there was just no
That's
connection.
what a baby does. They cry when they first born.
There was just no connection. Even when I look at Ace, I still see, I don't see me.
So what part of this situation relates to the fact that you don't believe the prenatal testing results?
Now he think Mr. Haynes, my fiance, is the dad of Ace.
I believe.
Oh, you believe Mr. Haynes is Ace's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe Mr. Haynes is the father.
Why?
Because when I'm over there visiting my other kids with Miss Malone, she'll
feels like
she'll
that
have
they got a
Ace,
bond.
Ace will be crying, and first person she'll give them to is Mr. Haynes. She'll be like, "Go to your daddy." If I was Ace's father, she would hand.
And the
Ace
reason
to
of that
me.
being-
she'll hand them to Mr.
The reason
Haynes
of that
instead
being, Your
me.
Honor,
it's like
is
she doesn't even want me to be.
We
a
got
part
into
of
an
his life
argument
at all.
over the phone, and these were his exact words. Ace is not my son. I just gave him my middle and last name.
So this is after you all left the courtroom. He said, Ace is not my son. I just gave him my
Your
middle
Honor.
and last name.
Yes, Your Honor. I met Mr. Haynes February 22nd, 2017.
I don't believe that, Your Honor. She
He-
could have kept him a secret or anything,
No.
but then just
No.
got rid of
Because
me just to move
Technically,
him back.
I didn't know her when the time when she had Ace in her stomach.
You didn't even know her when she was pregnant.
No.
Never known anything about each other.
So you
No,
don't believe that to be true, Mr. Mason?
No, ma'am. I feel like,
Why don't you believe it?
because if that was the case, Your Honor, when I was in the hospital when she gave birth to Ace, she had put my name on the birth certificate. Removed my name off the birth certificate just to put Mr.
Reason of
Haynes'
that
name
being
on the
is-
birth
The
certificate.
reason.
I asked
So
him.
wait a minute now. She took your name off the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you put Mr. Haynes' name on
The
Ace's
same
birth
day
certificate?
after I left out of the hospital, after she had already put my name on the birth
Your
certificate,
Honor.
I had left out to go
So
to
hold
work,
on, I'm
took
looking
my
at
name
this.
off the
Your
Hold
Honor.
on. I'm looking at your evidence submitted to this court. Ace Marcus Mason. And father's full name, Courtney Teron Haynes.
You don't put a complete.
So how
stranger's
is it
name
you
on a
met
birth
in
certificate if you
February
just
after
met-
Ace was born?
Your Honor, he's
Because-
not on the
Put-
real birth certificate.
Oh,
He's
what-
not on the hospital, they give you a piece of paper in the hospital, and you have to fill your information out on that.
And so what is this you submitted to the court?
That's just the birth certificate that the hospital gave me that I could take home. And
Oh, that's
on
the
the
thing
back
that
of that,
comes-
that's what he signed. So
Oh.
in the record, he has no father. It's nobody's name on his birth certificate, really.
But if you've already determined that Mr. Mason is the biological father, then why would you put somebody else's name
he
in
wasn't
that?
acting like one.
Because
Mr.
that's the
Haynes acted like more of a father than Mr. Mason did. He was there.
So you're saying it was a statement that this is the man that's acting like Ace's real father.
Yes, ma'am. And that, and he act like he didn't want it. He act like he didn't want to be on the birth certificate. So I was angry and hurt.
And I can see you still have tears in your eyes. You moved on with your life, but this still upsets you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And why does it upset you so much?
He's still dwelling on the past. I know what I did, and I confessed up to that. I owned up to it. And he's still bringing the past in. He just needs to own up to Ace, be a father to Ace, be in his life.
She has not lately gave me the chance at
Hold
all.
on, technically, she
At
has
all.
gave him the chance. He never
She's
picked up
never
Ace when
gave
he
me
ever
the
came,
chance.
whenever he came
Whenever
over.
he
Ever
came and
since-
Whenever he
visited,
came over,
it was
it was
always
always
about my
about the daughter.
2-year-old.
Ever since she's been with Mr. Haynes, it's always just been about her and Mr. Haynes.
No,
and
it's
Ace.
That's
never-
how he
That's
feels.
all
And the
it's
only
been.
reason why
That's
he
all
feels
it's
that
been.
way
And
is
I'm
because I
always
moved
over
on and
there
I'm not with
visiting
him
my
anymore.
kids, and it's always just about them.
You say you need to come back to this court and you petition this court to reopen this case.
Yes,
Because you
ma'am.
said, I have no bond with this baby. I don't believe in the prenatal test. I feel like Mr. Haynes was in Ms. Malone's life before Ace was born.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I believe he's the biological father.
Yes, Your Honor. It's something I just need to know.
Well, I gave you the answer. But you're still standing here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because he's dwelling on the past. That's all it is with him, is the past.
What is it about the past you can't let go of, Mr. Mason?
Me and Miss Malone, we was together for 5 years. And for 5 years, I feel like it was nothing but just dishonesty. And it was more bad than good.
And it was on both of our
And so
behalves.
that's
It
why
was
we
not
came
just
the
me.
last time, because of the same situation as basically this time. Even when we was in the hospital before Ace was even born, she was sending ultrasound pictures
No, I
to
was not, Your
another
Honor.
person.
I do not recall that.
You were sending pictures to another
I
person.
do not recall that.
And this is before Ace was born or after?
It was before. I just feel no connection
No
at all.
connection.
So
Like a
when you
baby's
went
supposed
back
to talk
home
back.
with the baby, you just felt like you felt absolutely no connection.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
that troubled you.
A lot.
And then the doubts you had just kept building.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what else was happening?
Well, me and Miss Malone, we had went our separate ways.
You did.
And yes,
Yes, Your Honor, because when we
And,
got back,
and when
he
we
cheated
went our separate ways,
after we agreed that we was not going to dwell on the past. He still did it anyway.
And
so
so-
I took your advice and I left him. And
didn't-
now I'm
I
starting
didn't necessarily
to.
cheat.
What was it?
I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat at all.
He left me for another woman.
I didn't leave her at all, and I didn't cheat.
Before the
A
baby was
stripper
born?
at that.
It was.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you leave her for a stripper?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Yes, Your
I
Honor, he
not.
did. He did,
I
Your
had
Honor.
a friend that I was
He was-
talking to.
It was
because
not
I
a friend,
couldn't
Your
talk
Honor.
to
It was
Miss
way
Malone.
more than what he's saying
So
it was.
I was just talking to
One
her.
night I was going
I
through
came
his
back
phone.
and-
One at a time.
I was going through his phone one night. I was wondering who this woman was. She kept calling, she kept calling. One night I caught him slipping. He left his phone on the table, and she kept calling that night. I picked up and asked her who she was. So she asked me, go ask your man.
Oh, really?
Yes, Your Honor, she did. So,
She was
with
just
no
a friend,
questions, I
somebody
packed
that
his
I could
clothes,
talk
threw
to.
him down the stairs. He wakes up, asks me what I'm doing. I told him he was cheating.
And did he admit to it?
He denied it, like
'Cause I
he is
wasn't
now.
Because I was not cheating at all.
So, Mr. Mason, you here saying you don't trust the results when you the one that's not being trustworthy.
I wasn't cheating, Your Honor, at all. I went to a friend who I could talk to about my situation because I could never go to Miss Malone and talk.
What
to
was
my
your situation?
It was about the whole relationship situation with Miss Malone, about her past and all this other stuff. I couldn't bring it to her, so I brought it to somebody who can relate and could understand. And like I told her, every time I see Ace, I don't see me.
And that's only because he
Mr.
does
Hayes.
not. That's only because he doesn't want to.
Even if I wanted to bond with Ace, Ace is always with Miss Malone and Mr.
There's
Hayes.
nothing for you to come take him and
Though
bond with your son.
He's the only one. She grabs baby Ace and she hands him to Mr. Haynes. It's like
The only reason why is that
cry.
because I'm more of the
He doesn't
father
cry.
figure for Ace. He wasn't there for Ace, I was.
He's not more of a father figure to me. I feel like he picks favorites also out of all three of the kids.
No,
We-
I don't
Pick
pick
baby.
favoritism
No,
because
not
I
at
pick
all.
for all three.
All
He
three.
loved my kids.
All three.
Okay, Mr. Haynes doesn't have kids. So when we got engaged, he seen my kids as his own. Of course, it's a new thing to him trying to show all three of my kids attention. He's fantastic with it now.
Since the baby's so young and you spend more time with the baby is
More
more
attached.
comfortable and more
to me
attached
because
than
he
you.
probably thinks I'm
Because you are the consistent father figure.
Yes.
Yes,
But
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Mason, you're interpreting this to be, well, we only had the test done in vitro, a prenatal test done. Now that we back home, you got Mr. Haynes listed on this piece of paper as the daddy. Every
And
time you
looks
say
like
go to
Mr.
your daddy, you give the baby to him. I don't feel a bond when I look in at the baby. Something's wrong here. That's what you've been feeling like?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ace is 5 months old.
Yes, Your Honor.
And as I sit up here on this bench, it truly troubles me that this baby for 5 months has gone without truly the love and attention he deserves from his biological father because of your disbelief, your mistrust of the testing. This is the exact reason why we performed a prenatal test. It's so that when this child was born, the question would be answered so that he could have the love, affection, support, and protection of his father.
But I tried. She
And
does
that's
not
why
doubt
this
me.
courtroom exists. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Mason. As a judge, as a woman, I practiced law for over 2 decades. I have every reason to throw this case out because you have not presented any evidence here today that would suggest something was wrong with that prenatal test we've previously performed, which determined that you were the father. So as a judge, I should throw it out. But if you don't understand the process, I do understand how you can't trust the result. I don't want you to leave this courtroom with any lingering doubt. So standing by on the phone is Dr. Baird. He is the Chief Science Officer at DNA Diagnostics, and he can further address the validity of the earlier DNA test. Dr. Baird, are you there?
Yes. Hello, Judge. I'm here.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Doctor. Doctor, I have a question concerning prenatal paternity testing. Can you please explain to the court and to our plaintiff how a prenatal test is performed?
The non-invasive prenatal paternity test is performed using a blood sample from the pregnant mother. In her blood sample, there is DNA from the fetus that she carries. We then take a look at the DNA from the fetal sample that's present and compare it to an alleged father to see whether or not he is or is not the biological father of that fetus.
Thank you so much for your time and for giving us that very important information. Thank you. We did not just swab Ms. Malone, and you may not understand what that means. So I hope you understand what this means. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Mason versus Malone, when it comes to 5-month-old Ace Marcus Mason. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Mason, you are the father. Again.
So, that's your son. You need to just start taking care of your son.
And I'm
start
going
bonding
the
with your
same-
son.
The same way I do with the other two.
Okay.
The same way I do with
And
the
I
other
hold you
two.
to that.
That means my name's
And I
got to
hold
go
you
on
to
that
that.
birth certificate and his name's coming off tomorrow.
No problem.
Mr. Mason, I would say you done wasted my time today, but the truth is I don't believe that, and that's why I heard you out. But I could tell you had worked yourself up into doubting this baby over your own misunderstanding of science and the law. And that's why I let this play out, because this is an important lesson for you and for many people